TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Monday. It is April 15th. I hope you filed your taxes, and if you haven't, you've at least filed that extension. But it is also World Art Day, and we have a plethora of artists here in the Valley. We take a look at the recent episode of Chatbox where Liz has a conversation about a specific kind of dance. And then we've got Devon and much more. So hour one of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging on to our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
Good morning, Vail.
Nature is nurture and art fuels the soul. We love the wildlife artist Nicole Gateman. Let's take a look at some of her work.
Hi, I'm Nicole Gayton. I am an artist out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and I am a very colorful wildlife artist. Here I am today, about 20 years later, doing this full time. As a kid, I've always been really a big animal lover. That's part of the reason I paint wildlife. Growing up in Jackson Hole, my parents made it a huge part of our lives, getting out into the wilderness, hiking, having animals. We had 2 dogs growing up, a cat. I was obsessed with horses, and somehow I convinced my parents to buy me a horse and then a second horse. And we didn't have the space for horses, but that was one of my first animals that I drew incessantly. And then art and horses were my life, and it's one of my favorite things to draw. My love of animals just grew, and I am a big contributor to a lot of wildlife funds in Grand Teton National Park, giving them a lot of the funds that come from my paintings. So I get asked over and over again how I came up with this technique, and many people don't know that I use a squirt bottle similar to like a diner style ketchup bottle. I mix up black paint and water, and then I lay my canvas on the ground and I go wild. You can see that it sprays out, all these little black marks come out, and I came up with that after being young. I was detail oriented, I would sketch out my drawing, and I would never finish a project in my high school art classes until one day my teacher was like, you need to just like let loose, let it go. And we came up with this idea when we were working on painting projects to use a squirt bottle, and that would help me complete my projects. So we tried it out, and it was just like a magical experience how I could get a drawing done within like, I don't know, 10 minutes. And that's how things kind of evolved into this really wild style for me. Ever since, you know, it's evolved and become this whole magical process. I think in the area that we live in, wildlife seems to be a very popular subject matter. I also really enjoy painting their personalities and their eyes, and it's been a really fun avenue to go down. I have decided to kind of experiment with some new color, some new subject matter. I typically only do one animal per piece, and I've really kind of like challenged myself to put in more animals into one piece. So you'll see when we pan out here that I've done, you know, 3 foxes in one piece, I've done 2 bison in a piece, and then I have a really spectacular piece that is 6 feet long with, I don't even know how many bears, but there are probably 15 bears in there. I would love you all to see that.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from 2 of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
Songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley, and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, we workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, oh my God, this is delicious, or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler, I live and work in Vail. Come see me at Sweet Basil.
One of the many reasons I love art is because there is such variety and creative expression. We take a look at the world-renowned artist Devon about his pop art. Let's take a look.
My name's Devon, and I come from a line of pop artists that can be traced all the way back to Andy Warhol. I'm the guy that's kind of carrying the torch from that tradition into the 21st century. What inspires me is nostalgia. And just remembering anything from the past makes us feel good, warms our soul. And so I want to leverage familiarity with people. The artwork that I'm doing today is very similar to the way pop art started. I still fundamentally work in the principles of, sourcing my content from pop culture. So there's photographs and there's comics and there's still, advertising and mass media, that kind of a thing. But what I do is I add a few more layers than they did. As a result of being maybe 60 years on, there's a lot of things that have happened between now and then. And so I feel like I want to capture that too. And so I represent the time gap in different layers in my artwork, almost in the way that you would see layers in geology. Because there's different seasons and years that have passed. And so you can see little relics of the past. There's a lot of layers in our own psychology that I'm capturing as well. I'm trying to take a flashlight, if you will, and poke it through a tip of an iceberg. And let's call that pop culture. The landscape of pop culture is where I start with a little flashlight and illuminate some of the psychological layers below. I try to explore what it is about pop culture that is captivating our attention in the first place. There's this thing called the collective unconscious, so many people can relate to a lot of these things, and yet each of these people come away with maybe a little bit different interpretation, which is what I call the personal unconscious. So I put little story elements in there, and I'm always surprised at what other people take away as the meaning from it. Most songs and literature and art all kind of have this thread, in general, the hero's journey. A lot of these things bring comfort just in general to see because they've grown up with it or loved it, or they aspire to be that person, which is really what the hero's journey is about, is really we want to be the hero of our own lives. I want to be the hero in my story, don't you? And so if someone is inspired, I certainly am inspired in working with all of these different stories in this content. And if at the end of the day you're inspired by it, that's my goal, is the inspiration behind it. And I'm trying to make it fun. It's like I love switching it up. Some people think, oh, this is fresh and new. And then I'm like, but it isn't. And it is at the same time. It's like this, I'm still working in this tradition of artists from the past, and yet I'm putting a modern twist on it. But really, I'm just leveraging the past. And maybe through my body of work, you can sort of see, a wider scope of the whole thing. But really, the core is this hero's journey.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TV8 te brinda la mejor programación en español todos los días. Sintoniza Conexión Latina los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 7 de la tarde con repeticiones los fines de semana. Además, te presentamos nuestro nuevo programa Sabores y Creaciones, donde hemos juntado tus recetas y manualidades favoritas en un solo lugar los martes y jueves a las 7 de la tarde. Y por último, disfruta de Daily Flash Latino, con noticias y entretenimiento en tendencia los sábados a las 7 de la tarde. Te esperamos por el canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No.
Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tvavail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92. Daily Flash.
I'm Andrea Jackson. I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the day's trending news and entertainment. Daily Flash offers the latest in pop news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, wellness, and even some unscripted, irreverent, who knows what's next fun. Daily Flash with Mitch English and Andrea Jackson. Trending news and entertainment.
Good morning, Vail.
Very thrilled with our new partnership with the Chat Box, who is hosted by Liz, a former TV8 host as well. And boy, is it exciting. We've got so much happening with this new partnership and much more in the second hour of our show, where we've got the musician and singer-songwriter Dana Cooper joining us here in the studio from Nashville, as well as cookie artist Sabrina Feldman and more. So make sure that you stay tuned for hour 2 of Good Morning Vail.
Welcome to the Chat Box, everybody. We are live on YouTube here at the TV8 studios in Vail, and we are the Chat Box Live. Super excited. We are always bringing you somebody in the industry of helping us with our mental and emotional well-being, and we have Kayla Weber today from Revolution Power Yoga. First, of course, my beautiful co-host, Jen Saito. And so there is something that you guys are doing in your studio that fascinated me, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. We all go through all of our stuff, and we're going through a lot of stuff now, and there's a lot of stuff going on in our midst, and we are stressed out. A lot of us are stressed out. And when I saw what you do, it's called ecstatic dance. Yeah, it's not what you're thinking, because we all know that could help too. But this is something that's really cool. And the one thing I've always believed in my life is how music just moves your soul. I say the more haunting the music, the better, because I'm weird and I like to be just taken down by the songs. But when your body is moving to music, there's something that comes out of you that is downright spiritual, for lack of a better word, because you just start, when you really get into a song, and then when your body starts going, I have found myself, my husband's embarrassingly caught me in the bedroom just dancing around because I just like the way the music makes me feel. So with ecstatic dance, from what I've read, is that it is something that you grab hold of with your own spiritual self. You move however you want. You have a special DJ that gives certain beats that just make you feel tribal almost. And this is how you tap in to your emotional feelings and your well-being and mental state, and it's actually healing.
Yes, and I love that you use the word spiritual. I was going to add tribal in there. Or you said tribal.
I don't know what
that
I
was
said.
It. Primal. Yeah, it really is. It's all about connecting to those vibrations, to those beats, to the sounds. And, you know, in the way that you're describing it, it's perfect because, you know, I think a lot of people will go out into the world, into the club and whatever, and there's an idea of how you should look. Oh, this is how I should move my body.
Yeah, well, they're watching everybody else.
Yeah, trying to fit in, but like what you said.
That was never me. I'm Elaine from Seinfeld. Rock'em sock'em robots.
And that's actually perfect, too, for ecstatic dance because it's all about getting into your body, your emotions, your mental self, your spiritual self, like you said, and moving in a way that's very primal. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
I
exactly.
love
So, yeah, like one thing that I love to kind of compare it to in a way is if you look at animals, for example, out in nature, they'll shake, you know, they do a big body shake. If a dog gets into a fight or, you know, hits its head or whatever, it does a huge shake, and that releases.
They're shaking it off.
Exactly, shake it off. That's an actual thing.
Wow.
And so, yes, so with ecstatic dance, you're not concerned about how you look. You're not there to look good.
So nobody's got a
cool.
self-conscious feeling while they're there.
Exactly. Yep. And that's a huge reason why we keep the lights low and, you know, we invite people to close their eyes if that's comfortable for them, just so that you really can embody your experience.
Wow.
You embody your emotions or whatever you're processing. Or, you know what, for me, sometimes I'm not even mentally there. You know, it's like my body just takes over and moves the energy that needs
Well,
to
that's
move.
interesting. Mm-hmm. So it really is an enlightening feeling, right? I would think.
Well, and speaking of inviting somebody to close your eyes, like what are the guidelines for ecstatic dancing?
Okay, so there are a handful of guidelines, and generally speaking, it is privacy is huge. So no cameras, no videos. Your phones are invited to stay, encouraged to stay out in the lobby, because that really gets down to the privacy of it.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so it allows people to know that I'm going into this looking weird, rock'em sock'em robots if I need to, you know, shaking all the garbage off. And so,
and just to be present in the moment without distraction, which is really cool.
I know.
And
why would you want to film people at their most vulnerable? Because I would think you feel pretty vulnerable. I feel vulnerable just in yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
have you
because
seen YouTube lately?
Yeah, there's that too. People, yeah, I know, but I mean, they care. They don't care, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that do care. You know, we just feel self-conscious or whatever. So the last thing you want to know is that there's somebody in the corner going, "Look at this idiot."
Right. Well, it is interesting, you know, with everything on film these days, it's kind of nice to know that you have that privacy.
I
in
know.
That.
I love that idea. I think it's wonderful. And what else, like she asked, what else do you have to go by?
So, so no phones, big one. No shoes. That's why a yoga studio
I like
is
that.
basically the perfect place to do an ecstatic dance.
I love that.
Floors are, you know, clean and wide open, so no shoes, no phones. We ask people to be embodied. So when I was talking about, you know, embodying your emotions and your process and everything you have going on, we encourage no talking. So within the studio space where the DJ is and the lights are low and there's no phones and, you know, the safe or courageous space, if you will, there's no talking in that space.
Interesting.
So it's really an invitation for people to be internal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could
mind,
do that.
I don't think you
I
could.
don't know.
We invite you to the hallway.
I'm so wound for sound all the time. Like, I wonder.
But a lot of time dancing is like a partner thing, or you're like dancing with somebody, and so sometimes you chat it out, or you talk about stuff, or you know, you giggle together.
You can giggle.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so, like,
But
along those lines is, well, it kind of leads into the next guideline of consent. So a lot of ecstatic dance is you're just dancing with yourself, by yourself, you know, doing the thing, moving your stuff.
Dancing with myself.
And if you want to dance with somebody, if you know, like somebody's energy, or if you feel, you know, like you guys could do a cool partner thing, the eye contact. So there's communication, but there's no talking. So you can look at people in the eyes, you know, have the, exactly, me, you, me. And, you know, there's also that respectful bow out where, you know, if you're like, nope, I'm doing my thing, I just need to keep doing this.
Right.
You can, you know, thank you so much, but I'm good.
Right.
Basically, yeah, just a little bow. And, but the communication part, you can giggle with people, you can, you know, with consent, you can dance with people, it's cool to see all of those other forms of communication come out.
Do people come out of their shell, really?
Oh, yeah.
They really do. They really actually immerse themselves into that. I guess for me, because it's like stepping another step out of the comfort zone, which I do all the time, what you explain is stuff I do in private all the time. I mean, I'm always... Like I said, my husband catches me dancing all the time. I love the way it makes me feel. I like a song that makes me weep. So I guess, how do you get people comfortable enough to go into their own zone without paying attention to what's around them? It's got to be so interesting.
It is, and so that actually leads me into the final two official guidelines, one of which is sobriety. So this is an experience that it requires sobriety. You know, we take people's emotional safety, physical safety, spiritual safety even, really seriously in these settings, because we are the ones stewarding this experience. And it can be really, really deep for people in a healing way, you know, a cleansing, emotional way.
You don't want to show up drinking. I mean, it's a depressant anyway, and it's going to mess with your emotions, and you're not going to feel real.
Yeah, right. And it's, you know, having people around you that are under the influence makes it less safe, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
So that is a requirement of ecstatic dance, is sobriety.
I love that.
And,
I do too.
And that plays into, well, how do you get people to, loosen up, which is like the last guideline, be free. So that guideline goes into, it can, you know, what does freedom mean to you? Well, to me, it means embodying every part of your experience. So even those parts of you that are hurt or that want to hide, they're invited to the party. So it's really, you know, I think all those things above all the other guidelines help to create and facilitate that kind of environment. You know, with the nobody's watching you, nobody's recording you, you know, be comfortable, take your shoes off, fully be here, be sober so you know how you're feeling.
Really feel your feelings, because, well, we all know that any sort of self-medication is to bury our feelings. That's why I would venture to think that's why, I shouldn't say we as a whole, because then people would be like, nah. But there are many people that self-medicate because they haven't dealt with things that are going on in their life. So imagine, just picture if you could just let all that go and go do something organic, feel your feet on the ground, listen to that music and catch a beat and just start feeling it. And next thing you know, you forget, probably, I would venture to think you forget that there's other people around you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my first ecstatic dance experience was actually down at Envision Festival in Costa Rica, and so there were hundreds of people there, and, you know, it was super cool. The ground was just all these foam pads, so same thing down there, you take your shoes off.
Nice.
You know, and with hundreds of people around you moving in their own way, it's kind of an experience. It almost, to me, felt like group healing.
Does it feel like a drum circle feeling almost?
But
more?
Sort of, kind of, but then you close your eyes and you just forget that
Oh,
everyone,
wow.
around you is having all these experiences too. And it's just so cool to be able to go in and to be present with what's here right now. Like you said, I can speak from and knowing that lots of other people are in the same boat. The need for people to numb their feelings is so prevalent. But when you numb your feelings, you're literally just sticking them in your back pocket for later.
It's like a filing cabinet.
It'll stay there.
Yeah.
And so, having this fully present experience with yourself is the way to say, oh, okay, that's there. I need to feel that. I need to heal that. Or, oh, I didn't even realize that I was still holding on to that. And, how can I shake it off? Or, whatever's really, truly there has the opportunity to be felt, noticed, acknowledged, named, moved through. And then at the end of
it kind of goes compartmentalized in the back portion of your brain where you don't have to have it really present all the time.
Gone.
Ooh, that would be even better.
So that's a beautiful
I love
part.
that.
That's a beautiful part of somatic
Stuff
experience.
goes away.
Stuff can go away. But not if we ignore it, not if we numb it, and not if we shove it down with substances and everything else.
Have you ever had anybody, I'm sorry, you were going to ask something?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say really fast, have you ever had anybody bust out in tears?
Oh, yeah, I've done it. Are you kidding me?
I'm ready to cry right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
What were you going to ask?
Oh, so you just mentioned that the music is curated in a specific way to kind of facilitate some kind of feeling. So I was wondering if you can talk about that a little.
Great question.
Absolutely. So the DJ that I've had the pleasure to work with here in this valley, Matt Cole, he has lots of experience with ecstatic dance, from all over the place, but he really spoke highly of his experience in California. And it's something that's really popular there. And what's cool about ecstatic dance and us bringing it here is oftentimes in the conversations that I've had with people and my own experience, I did it in Costa Rica, and I have friends that, I think the closest I have friends that have done it is Denver, Boulder area.
Okay.
So, we're
Do you know
traveling.
where it originated from?
I don't actually.
No.
That's a great question. Truly, honestly, what it is at its core
is native.
It's ancient. It comes
Yeah.
with being human.
Right.
You go back to every single culture, and there is sound in some way. Like you mentioned drum circles earlier.
For some reason, was in California and went to Venice Beach and experienced a drum circle. And I mean, as we had last week, the divine tingles we were talking about, my whole body was just like it is now. It's weird how I feel all that, but I can remember how I felt. And just there was this feeling of oneness, but yet you're still in your own individual casing. But the difference is, what I think the difference between a drum circle and what you do is, the drum circle, you come together, and everybody has the beat, and everybody enjoys the sunset, and it's something that you all appreciate together. This is something you're doing together, but you're individualizing yourself. So I think it's a little, you kind of cocoon yourself a little bit, and then go into your own
choice, right? To either be internal or
right.
to join a community
exactly,
or reach out and connect.
I'd be out there like trying to spin everybody around.
Well, and that does happen,
Yeah.
So for as much of an internal experience as it can be, it can also be super fun. There were a group of us dancing, the last one that we did at Revolution, there were a group of us all dancing together, and it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Right.
It can be a whole experience. And
right.
But hold on, bringing it back to the original question, Matt Cole. So he actually has, like I said, lots of years of experience doing this in a different place. And with that experience, he has so much music and just so many different clips that he can put together. And basically what's really, really cool about having the live DJ at the ecstatic dance is that DJ then has the opportunity to feel into the energy of the room.
Ooh.
So they can look around and say, all right, everybody's like, really internal or moving.
So he knows how to take the where to take the music.
Exactly. So it is this whole journey of the music itself that's not necessarily pre-planned. I mean, I think he comes with the general idea of, you know, probably what he wants to play, but what's, like I said, really cool is the energies get to work with each other. So, you know, we get to show up however we are feeling in that moment, that day. We're humans, we change all the time. And so right then and there, we get to show up as we are, and he gets to then basically steward the experience with all of the music. And, you know, you were talking about the word tribal came up. And what I love,
it feels tribal, it feels internal.
And what I love so much is this whole mishmash of what is played, you know, because
I was going to say, what kind of music is it, but it's probably vast.
It's so many different kinds, which is my favorite part.
Yeah.
You know, it starts slow, so the very beginning, there's kind of some intention setting. You know, we make sure everybody understands what the ground rules are, just to create that, you know, as safe as we can space for people. And then we move into a little bit of embodiment, just to kind of get people into their bodies. And that can look a few different ways. It can be a meditation or maybe a little bit of yoga movement, or, you know, a whole variety of things. And then the DJ, Matt Cole, takes over and, you know, starts it slow. Oftentimes, you know, I've experienced it starts with kind of like nature sounds, and maybe you're in the jungle, or maybe you're at the ocean, or, you know, you're somewhere not in that room. And then over time, the energy gets brought up, and, you know, maybe you recognize a song that, you know, there's like some lyrics in there. It just gets, I don't know, really fun.
Okay.
And you were talking about that dark music, you know, you thought
Haunting,
that's what it is. There have been some haunting tracks in there.
That makes me go. That gets me. It's so weird.
No, it's not weird. I think
that's what would bring out my all the beasts that would want to be purged out.
Yes.
That kind of music would do it.
All the skeletons in your closet come out with haunting music.
It's a weird example. I'm just going to give you guys a weird example. I went to the Rolling Stones. I was going through a lot of depression. This was several years ago, like 3-4 years ago, whatever, before COVID, so who knows. But I was really in a dark place, really just in a bad place. And my husband decided to take me to the Rolling Stones to snap me out of it. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and it wasn't working for me. It was like I was, you know, enjoying it, but I just kept thinking about what was upsetting me. And all of a sudden, just one song came on, Painted Black. Don't know why, if it was the sound of the song. It wasn't the lyrics, it was just everything about the song Painted Black. I'm surrounded by thousands of people. I'm like, just like sobbing. I mean, tears flowing down my face. Tom looks at me and goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "We're in the Rolling Stones." And all of a sudden, after that song was over and I cried my head out, I was better. Like, all of that heavy stuff was lifted.
Yeah.
It was so weird. And Painted Black is a dark song, but it's haunting. And whatever, just that whole song through the entire thing, I don't know what happened to me. Whatever came over me, and then I was almost like better.
So my hippy dippy take on that, if you want to hear it.
Yes, I would. I love anything hippy dippy. I was born in the hippy dippy years.
Beautiful. So that kind of reminds me of, in sound healing, what we talk about oftentimes with the frequencies is there is a huge need for harmony when we're playing, but there's also absolutely a time and a place for disharmony. And so what that is said to do is it's said to kind of break up stuck energy.
Wow.
So there's a chance, like what I got from your share,
please,
was that you had this energy stuck somewhere in your body, and it wasn't flowing, and it wasn't allowing other energies to flow.
Okay.
And so, you know, that probably contributed to that feeling of just stuckness, heaviness, sadness.
Yeah, it lasted for way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
And whatever happened with that song, Paint It Black, broke up that energy.
So crazy.
Allowed it to flow again. Right out your eyes.
Yeah, literally, my face exploded. It was like...
So necessary. That was just so much built up garbage and stuck energy.
In public, I mean, I've cried many a times on my own, but I mean, it didn't matter. There were, I mean, you can imagine how many people are at a Rolling Stones concert. Like, it was all kinds of ugly crying going on.
And then, you know, what you said is you felt so much better after that.
Literally rejuvenated. I don't want to say reborn because that sounds religious, but you know what I mean. Like I had some cathartic experience, and I had been to many. We kept trying. I even went to Stevie Wonder and couldn't snap out of it. I mean, there were so many things in that song. So that's why I think when I was looking through, you know, I'm always looking for somebody that gives to our community in a special way where we can feel better about ourselves, feel less lonely, feel less grief-stricken, feel less depressed, feel less anxious. And people like you do that to our community. You do it to us, not for us. You do it to us. But I think that's why I related that situation with me at the concert, because when I read what ecstatic, I had no idea what ecstatic dance was. And then when I read the gist of it, and I mean, it's a catharsis. It's something that you can go and feel so amazing and different. And I realized it's through the music and then through what you're feeling at the time. And if you can grow past that, and if you can expel that or exorcise it, you know what I mean? Whatever demon's in there, get it out. Cry it out your eyes. I mean, even if you end up crying while you're doing this. When are these? I know that you have one coming up and then you have a monthly, don't you?
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yes. So I kind of mentioned to you earlier, I love the energy that Matt came into Revolution with. He actually is the one that just kind of popped the lid off this whole thing. It was definitely something that I was interested in bringing to the Valley. Like I said, I had been to ecstatic dances, but not locally. I had heard of friends who had done them. I had a couple friends. It just kept entering my sphere of awareness.
Right.
You know, people kept bringing it up, and I'm like you very much, and like I dance constantly in my bedroom. I mean, just
all the
let
time.
her rip.
Like you never stop.
Yes, exactly. And for me, I'm like, why is this something that I have to do alone? You know, I feel like a lot of us could get together and just really, you know, just like really let it go. And so that was always kind of at the back of my mind. And then the great pleasure of having Matt Cole come into Revolution and say, I'm here, I'm new to the Valley, this is what I'm into, I think you'd have a great space for this. And I'm like, yes, I love it, let's do it. My winter was incredibly busy. We are smack dab in the middle of yoga teacher training right now, still at the studio. And so, you know, it was really just something that I was like, I could make excuse. It's never going to be the right time. There's always stuff going on.
Yeah,
but
you just have to go for it.
Do it.
Yeah.
So we did one last month, and it was awesome. We have the next one coming up on April 20th. So a week from tomorrow, I believe, right?
Get ready, everybody.
Yes.
April 20th at Revolution Power Yoga, which is located in Avon.
Yes, it is in Avon in the Trail Creek Plaza. So if you know where Walmart is, it's very close to there. It's close to a bus stop, so it's really easily accessible as well. We would love to do these monthly. It's a goal of mine, and I think of Matt's as well. You know, we're going to have different people come in to do the embodiment pieces. So we had Eileen Marie do it last month. Yamanya is going to do it this month.
What's an embodiment piece?
So that's the piece at the beginning that I mentioned. You know, maybe meditation or yoga or just you know, a little bit of just welcoming into the space.
I like that. So it's kind of like a breathing situation too. Do you do some breath work and then you get everybody kind of grounded and ready for it? So that is your way of getting people relaxed and ready to go without shots for everybody.
Yes, without tequila all around.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's a really cool way to kind of bring in other energies.
I like
to
it.
Experience, you know, the facilitation of other people. I'm sure I will jump into that role here or there. I just need to get through some of the stuff on my plate, and then and then I can fully dive in. But yeah, so like I said, the goal and the hope is that it can be monthly at Revolution. You know, I know some places down in Denver or San Francisco or San Diego, they'll do them weekly. And you know, I've heard of people going to like 2 ecstatic dances a week. It's like it's like their therapy in a physical form.
Is that part of a membership pass, or is there a fee for for joining?
Great question. The way that we have it structured right now is it's like a separate event ticket. So there's a couple different ticket prices. If you are a member at Revolution, a monthly member, you do get a cheaper price for the event. We also are doing early bird tickets. So if you buy the first 10 tickets, I think, are $30, and then they go up to $40. So yes, I think just kind of depending on how it grows and shifts and changes.
Gotcha.
It might eventually be more included in the membership, but yeah, for right now, it is.
So it's open to the public right now. If you're not a Revolution Power Yoga person, they can still come in and do this.
Yes, please.
Because some people don't do yoga, but they might be really turned on by the idea of getting themselves in musical situation where they feel immersed and they can let go and feel free.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I have a question for you. What is your definition of really, truly feeling free?
Ooh,
yeah.
Good question.
Hot seat.
Ooh, I think what comes to mind first is being able to authentically express myself without the fear of judgment.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That was the best description of being free ever. I'm picturing myself running naked through the woods. She's got the real deal going on here.
That's you, though, no judgment. Just running in the woods.
Well, I think I would be judged. The bear would be like, what's that 14-year-old boy doing running through the forest?
Well, I wouldn't judge you.
That's what I care about. That's so beautiful. What is your description of feeling free? How do you describe the feeling of freedom?
Well, I love that you used the word authentic self. And I think that, even having ADHD, I feel like, there's the whole thing of masking, unmasking, and feeling like you can be your authentic self in an environment. And I think alcohol for me has been, a way to unmask. So I love the idea of what you're talking about and creating an environment where it's actually the energy that helps unmask you instead
as opposed to the liquid courage.
Yes, absolutely. And so it's the idea of being able to be your authentic self without the aid of
I think we both should take this go and do this with Matt and Kayla and whoever does our beginning session. I think it's going to be amazing. I really, honestly, I'll behave. Is what I'm trying to say, is because I get nervous in situations like this, so then I act out. So I will have to center myself and get a little bit of breathing going first, because I know that I will be nervous, because it's just weird. I'll get on stage in front of 300 people, that's not a problem. But if I'm in a room full of people that are having the same idea and the goal, but I feel like I'm going to be awkward.
Well, the goal is to be yourself, right?
Right.
To enjoy it.
But myself is awkward. So I guess get out of my awkward self-consciousness of that and then go for it. I would love that. That would be wonderful.
Well,
so,
I relate very much to both of your shares, because ADHD is something that I've been, just dealing with my whole life, and alcohol was absolutely a way for me to feel more normal and less awkward, because I get that awkward energy myself in a group of people.
Always.
And I just crossed the 3-year mark alcohol free, and so I love bringing stuff like this, ecstatic dance, encouraging that authentic self to come through without the substances, because we're a party town. We can get a beer everywhere, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But there's no better feeling than a serotonin boost. Ooh. That's the best high I've ever had. Whenever I do things that give me that little boost, I just get this joyful experience going through my whole body. I'm like, oh, I love that feeling. Yes. And there's nothing can ever compare to that.
Right.
There's no pill. There's no smoky, nothing that can really get you to that, just where you really, that dopamine is just kicking in, and you're like, it's just such a great, something restores within you when you get that boost. And for me, I don't look for it anymore, because you can't. You just have to let it come to you. And when you manifest things, I really believe that they do come to you. And when I start looking, I feel gratitude is the biggest way to feel any sort of boost. I call them dopamine and serotonin boosts, but I just feel like when you start to feel gratitude for something, and then when you see it again or feel it again, it just does that whooshy thing to you.
Yeah, whooshy. It just
The
rises
whoosh.
up. Well, and I have this idea, or I like to think that our body is the best drugstore.
Oh,
we
yeah.
create so
You hold
many,
it?
We create, most of the time when we're functioning optimally, we create everything that we need. And so instead of going out and looking for it outside of ourselves, stuff like this, ecstatic dance and other therapeutic modalities really give you that reminder that, hey, everything you need is in here.
Yeah.
You just have to slow down, tune in, remember, be yourself.
And trust it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't trust their
yeah.
authentic stuff. So I think that's important.
Well, and I think the way the guidelines are set up for this dance, it really allows you to tap into that first, so that you can go there and you don't even have to pretend like there's absolutely nobody in the room and it's just you and the music, and then go again and then maybe connect, so I think it could be a different experience almost every time you go, depending on what your personal goals are for that moment or what even is conjured up with the music.
I agree with you. I just think it's going to be something that I hope that if people catch on to this and they want to come back, we can do it monthly. That's something as women we will welcome every month.
Yes.
I think that's a really, really great feeling, and we can show up on the 20th and get an idea as to what it feels like, and then we can tell everybody.
Is it women
what it
only?
did for
I'm
us.
sorry, did I miss that? Okay, gotcha.
No, it's for everyone.
Yeah.
And I just think, it's so easy, like I said, to find that community somewhere like a bar or partying on the mountain. It's that camaraderie, that connection, the community piece that I really have felt myself is missing from this valley for people who don't partake in drinking alcohol. Those of us that are more sober or on the recovery path or just looking for ways to have fun, let go, be able to, process some stuff. But there's no talking in the studio, but what I love is that in the lobby, it's welcome.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody that you want to connect with, and if you want this to be more of a community building piece, you still can. And it doesn't, I think the music and just being a little bit weird without substances makes it easier to bring it then to the lobby and connect with people on.
I love it.
I just think that's a wonderful thing. And also, I feel like just because you're not talking doesn't mean you're not communicating.
Well, how many times have you been to a bar and you have a weird connection with somebody until they start talking and you're like, okay, never mind.
And that's why, we had somebody last week, we were talking mostly about energy and energy healing, and I feel energy from people all the time, and I think that something like this, you would probably feel everybody's desire to heal and feel good and go ahead and be your own authentic self, like you said, to be free. So that's probably why it works, because everybody's there with the same common goal, and everybody's there in the same frame of mind. Nobody's like, let's go. So that's what I love about it. So everybody's in the same frame of mind, and everybody has the same intended goal for the end result, which I think is beautiful. And I just think that any form of avenue that we can take to make ourselves feel a little bit better about whether what we've experienced or what we're about to experience or what we're experiencing right now. There's a lot of tension amongst humanity right now. And I mean, it's very hard to deal with people. And I think when you go to a place where everybody's kind of like in the same frame, then you realize, you know what, I do have my people around me. There are my people here. I don't have to feel uncomfortable every time I go out, as long as I go to the places that make me feel wanted and welcome and comfortable. You don't have to force yourself to go to a place that you think everybody's at because that's where everybody does what they do. There's other things to do.
There's more options now.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, and I just think that people have grown out of the wanting to, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that do want to do more exciting things with their life and go on, moonlight hikes and go and do something like an ecstatic dance or go take yoga at Revolution or listen to music and just, clean your house. When you turn on the music, you realize your house is still dirty, but you've been dancing for an hour.
That's the medicine.
Yeah. So that's why we had you here today, and I can't thank you enough for being here. And Kayla is a very interesting and wonderful woman, very entrepreneurial, bought Revolution Power Yoga. Okay, a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, about a year and a quarter.
Okay. And tell us who you bought from, because we've had her here on the chat box.
I was going to ask. So I actually bought Revolution Power Yoga from Julie Cadu.
Remember Julie?
Yes, absolutely. She does melt.
Right.
Yes.
No, that's a different lady.
Sophia owns Vitality Collective down in Eagle.
That's correct.
Yes.
This valley is full of so many amazing people, and I have to say, I'm a little biased, but women especially. There are some powerhouse, awesome women here.
I know. I think it's amazing. Julie wrote the book.
The book, Bipolar.
Bipolar. Yeah. So she's just an incredible woman, and she had Revolution for many years. And so listen, Kayla's turned it into a magnificent space where we can go and be our true selves. And there are many different classes that you can take there. Ecstatic dance is just one way to give yourself an outlet. I know you have lots of other things. You can go to revolutionpoweryoga.com. I was pretending I knew it.
You got it. revolutionpoweryoga.com.
That's perfect.
It's got all of our classes, our workshops, events. We've even got a retreat coming up in October. So yes, you can find out about our teachers and our styles and the schedule, pricing, everything's on there.
It's wonderful, and it's a great place to let yourself be yourself, get yourself fixed up a little bit, and feel so much better about life in general. What do you think?
Through the vibes of music, I love it. I think it's very interesting to have the non-speaking piece to it, because then it's what you want it to be.
Right.
There's nobody breathing down your throat, making you uncomfortable. It's really your own experience.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool to vibe through energy only.
You don't have anybody there trying to make small talk with you?
Right. Oh, yeah, right. Hey, so where'd you get your leggings? Those are really nice leggings.
Right. Or someone just, comes up behind
I'm here
you,
to fix my brain. What are you here to fix? Yeah, we actually can have a good time and feel good, and nobody's going to feel uncomfortable. Or
it does feel safe.
It's just a beautiful thing.
And I
love that.
Beautiful.
So I wish we had Matt here to play us out a little bit so we could do an ecstatic dance, but we'll have to wait till the 20th.
You'll just have to come and experience his live DJ set in studio.
No, we're going to do it. We'll be there April 20th, everybody. Revolution Power Yoga. Do something for your mental health, your emotional well-being. Take a dance class, ecstatic dance. Do something special, and we are going to show you somebody every week that can give you a different outlet to work on yourselves, and that's what we're here for.
Thank you, ladies.
We love you.
Really appreciate you creating this space.
Yay, thank you so much. This is Kayla Weber, everybody, from Revolution Power Yoga. Make sure you get to ecstatic dance or anything else you want to do to make yourself feel amazing, because that's all we have is our one life to feel amazing and wonderful and get through all that we can, right?
Absolutely.
All right, from Jen, myself, Liz, and Kayla, thank you very much. We are the Chatbox Vail, coming to you from the TV8 studios in Avon, live on YouTube. We will see you on all of the other social media outlets very soon. Have a great weekend, everybody. May something magical happen for you.
Good morning, Vail.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interest across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunities of points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point of this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Hi, it's Max at TV8 Vail. We want to invite you all to the Wacky Winner Reading Program. It's open to all ages. All you have to do is read 10 books or 1,000 pages. For more information, go on our website, tv8vail.com. And thank you to our sponsor, the Eagle Valley Library District.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Now, as I mentioned in the first hour, it is Monday, April 15th. I hope you have filed your taxes. I'm Kimberly Pro, and thanks for joining us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. In this next hour, lots of fun stuff happening because I'll be having a conversation with cookie artist Sabrina Feldman. She's been on the show to show us how to decorate, but we're going to talk about how she got into it. And then I'm in the kitchen making the most simple, all-inclusive pasta recipe, and much more happening in hour 2. So buckle up. Let's get started right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. Coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Think Big features top kid inventors who face off against each other to see who can come up with the most innovative and creative invention. In Think Big, kids acquire and showcase their skills in creativity, science, marketing, design, and don't forget, teamwork. Check your local listings and watch the world's most innovative kids. They create and invent new toys, games, websites, and new modes of transportation. Tune in to Think Big.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
Daily Flash Latino. Designed for the American Latino audience, Daily Flash Latino hosts Jessica Reyes and Fabian Marcano deliver their fresh perspective on the latest entertainment news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, and more in both English and Spanish, aka Spanglish. Daily Flash Latino builds, connects, and celebrates the diverse Hispanic audience. Daily Flash Latino, trending news and entertainment with a splash of Spanglish.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, I'm so excited sitting here on the couch because I am sitting with a very good friend of mine and an incredibly talented cookie artist, Sabrina Feldman, joining me here today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, so much fun. Well, first of all, I have to say, we are twins in our outfit choices today.
Not on purpose. This did not happen on purpose.
But you know what? I'm here for it because it just makes it that much more fun.
Yes.
So you, cookie artist, how did you get into that? Tell me all about it.
It's such a funny story. So it was COVID 2020. You're bored in your house doing nothing. Everyone started baking. And my Instagram algorithm started feeding me people doing cookie art. And I was like, this looks kind of fun and easy. And instead of doing color by numbers or coloring books, I was like, I'm going to pick this up. It was like a long journey that year of trying to figure out the tips and the tricks, how to get the consistency right and all of that. But here we are. Now it's like friends are calling me, I have a kid's birthday party this weekend, or it's my boss's, anniversary. What do we do? So it's been fun for me to really help some friends out and some people in the community.
That's wonderful. So have you always had a creative, like an artistic bone in your body, or is this like a learned habit and a learned hobby?
Definitely a learned habit. No creative bone in my body. No one in my family has a creative bone. I always liked baking though. Baking and cooking, being in the kitchen was always a thing for me. I remember getting the American Girl doll cookbook as a kid and being like, we have to make everything in this. And I would, make my parents sit down and pretend that I was like the chef and the waitress and make them peanut butter and jelly. So this just kind of kept going. My mom always had to clean up my mess. I felt bad for her. Now I have to clean up my own.
I love it. So you mentioned that you do things for friends and family, and so you're actually word of mouth. So people are requesting all kinds of cookies, and you've done really cool things for Marvel. You've also done it for your friends and family. Mm-hmm. So tell me about the process. Like, how does it get started? How do people reach out to you?
Yeah. So it depends. So at work, actually, I work at Marvel, and I saw someone post in a regular channel, we're looking for someone who can cook, but isn't a professional chef or anything like that. And so I've gotten to do some on-air things with work. And then I started just posting videos of me in the kitchen, some designs that I've done, and people are like, that's really cool. Do you think you could help me out? I have to do this for my senator. Someone reached out about something they wanted to send their local senator. So it just, I guess it was through Instagram really is how it started. On my own main Instagram, my personal one. And then as that progressed, people are like, you should start your own. So I started my own, Sabrina Sweet Treats, and it's kind of picked up from there.
That's wonderful. So I love it. You've actually just done a bunch of fun treats for a recent little girl's birthday party. It's for Frozen. Oh my gosh, you should see these.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody can tell yet because you haven't posted them officially, but you do have a picture or two.
I do have a few pictures. Yeah. So she said just something simple. She's a very minimalistic girl, but it's also a kid's birthday party, and it's Anna and Elsa. So I just did some snowflakes, an Olaf, a few Olafs, her name, with some like frosting, some like sparkles on it. You can spray some glitter. And then I did one giant Elsa, which was really fun. And it's honestly, it looks a lot harder than it is. So one trick that I've found is find a coloring book page. And then if you have a projector, you project that onto the cookie so that you can then just trace that. And that's where you start. And then it's just like coloring.
So when you mentioned tracing, so you take the frosting and you trace it, or do you use an edible?
I have, again, no creative bone in my body, so I can't just trace with my hands. So for me, it's the icing. A lot of cookie artists actually do use an edible marker.
That's amazing. And, you know, we were showing off some of the work that you've done, and you can see these really great, you know, the TV, all the TV logos with HBO and ABC.
So that was
actually,
that was a Father's Day one. It was Father's Day, COVID. My dad was in New York. I was in Minnesota, and I felt bad that he was alone. He loves TV. He every time we talk, it's about what TV show I'm watching. So that was for him. Mainly they're gifts, and those are the ideas. And that's the best part, is that I get to put my own flair. I get to pick and choose, especially with my friends. They lean on me to design whatever cookie. The theme is this. What do you think is going to be best for the party?
Awesome. So if anybody wanted to reach out, the best way to get in touch with you would be through your Instagram?
Yep, definitely direct DM me through my Instagram.
Awesome. And what is your Instagram handle?
It's Sabrina Sweet Treats at... Yeah, just Sabrina Sweet Treats.
Sabrina Sweet Treats. I love it. And it's so much fun because you showed me, when we tried it in the kitchen together, I know that you also tried it with Kevin.
Yeah.
And the two of us, it is much harder than you're making it seem to be.
I feel like once you get going in it, it takes some practice to figure out how you like to hold it. You don't want the icing everywhere, but once you kind of get into it, a couple of cookies in, usually the first 2 to 5 are throwaway cookies, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know you work in the comic space world. So this is also, I feel like, a manifestation of what you talk about all day long, the world of Marvel as well.
Yeah, I get to do the characters. They're really fun. It's also, my nephew is super into Spider-Man, which helps. So anytime I get the chance to do a Spider-Man cookie for him, it's always fun.
That's great. And so have you posted any time lapses of your cookie decorating?
I've done a few time lapses. The most recent one was the Spider-Man. I did Spider-Man and Spin, for those who have kids and know who Spin is. Miles Morales, so they're really fun, and the kids also love watching the videos. They're so mesmerizing, and they're so exciting to watch for kids and adults.
So is there any cookie that has just been the hardest one for you to decorate, or one that was maybe the worst one that you've done? I shouldn't say worst, because it's such a fun thing to do.
Yeah. So also for my nephew, I did Lightning McQueen, and it was hard because you have to create so many different color frostings. Even though it's all red, they're all different color reds. So it takes a lot of time to perfect that, and then it gets messy, and you have to start over. So that one was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
I love it. And now here we are watching you do the Spider-Man decor.
Yeah.
And that's so unique, and what a great way to do it. And we just saw a little flash of the projector. It looked
exactly. So I just I think it was me turning it off from designing. So that one I actually did do a marker on the outline for his eyes, because it was a little too tough to.
So is that an edible marker that you would use?
Yes, they have edible markers. They're all different sizes, which was fun. So, one of the best parts is the community is so great. So there were a couple of cookie artists that I started following, and when they did something really unique or cool, I would ask them, what kind of utensil are you using? Where'd you get that marker? So I have 3 different types of markers. One of them you could just get at Joann's or Michael's, and it's a whole different amount of colors, so you can draw faces on. So the last one that I just did, the Elsa one, I did her eye color with it because it was a little too difficult. It was too small to get it perfect. So I used a blue marker for that, and her nose, I used a super fine tip pen to get the details on her nose.
That's great. And so where do you find all of your supplies? Is it just kind of word of mouth and trial and error?
Yeah, so most of mine come from Joann's or Michael's. I love Walmart, actually has some really great baking tools. And then anything else I really need, I can get on Amazon if I'm in a real bind and can't find it locally. You can also go to a local cook shop. I know right here in Vail there's a cook shop, and they have a ton of cookie cutters. I was on the hunt for cookie cutters the last time I was here for Shamrocks. And yeah, so check your local area, because there might be some cool little knickknacks that you wouldn't know that you'd have.
That's great. And so I love that you mentioned that. That's the bake shop's in Edwards. So
yeah,
love that. That's great that you were here exploring
yes.
and really being part of our community as well.
Yeah.
So Sabrina, one more time, what's your Instagram handle?
Sabrina Sweet Treats.
Okay, all one word. So Sabrina Sweet Treats,
yes.
and then just smash it all together.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, Sabrina, great to have you here on the couch. Lots of fun as always. You know, it's been fun being in the kitchen, learning with you, but to hear your story and how you make your incredible edible art.
Thanks.
So
Thank you so much for having me again.
It's great to have you here. Now stay tuned, we've got a bit more. I am getting back into the kitchen to make some pasta. We've talked about all the sweet stuff, but we've got a really easy and simple pasta recipe coming up shortly, so we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Hello, I'm Shervin Rezai here with Chenna Garden in Avon, Colorado. My hobbies are obviously skiing. I've been skiing since I was 3 years old. In addition to that, music's always been my first passion, and you can see that alive and well at Chenna Garden with our little record nook, where we have over 300 records, and we'll continue to grow that collection and play vinyl records for you while you enjoy your cuisine. Chenna Garden is Avon's oldest running restaurant. We've been open since 1988 when my mother set up shop and wanted to begin offering Avon, Colorado, the best quality Chinese food that we could get. And I started working in the restaurant when I was 8 years old as a dishwasher, making $1 a day. And then one of the servers, pushed by my dad, told me I should ask for a raise, and then I got $5 a day, but then I had to put all $25 at the end of the week into a savings account, which actually helped me out in college. So after college, I went out to New York for law school, and I spent 15 years out in New York City practicing law and working in-house, which exposed me to a lot of restaurants all over the world, all over the country. And after getting exposure like that, I realized that we have this beautiful restaurant here that has so much potential. So in the fall of 2023, we came back, remodeled, and tried to get this back to give that special feel that I've known all my life here. We've been offering a lot of new cuisines, including German cuisine with our good family friend Gunther Schmidt, who's been serving up authentic German cuisine in the Valley for many, many decades. Why not? This is America. We can serve German food in a Chinese restaurant, and we just let it try. And after a year of it, it's been building up some success, and we're just having a lot of fun just seeing the look of bewilderment on every customer when they're like, how am I getting German food in a Chinese restaurant that's this good at this quality? Chenna Garden is really all about that community, and that first starts with the local community. We always try to take care of all of us who are working hard, grinding it, so that we can also enjoy what this valley has to offer. And through that, we get a nice mix of word of mouth, tourists who come in. We're looking for something a little more authentic and that has a history with the valley. I'm a proud member of the Avon Vail Valley community, lifelong member as I was born here, and I hope you come out and see us here at Chenna Garden. We're open every day, 4 to 9, any day the mountain's open. Cheers.
Good morning, Vail.
Normally I'm standing here in the kitchen with the co-host, but no one is here today because we are making the most simple recipe, and I don't need anybody to help me with this one. So I'm making a bakeable pasta dish where everything cooks in the dish in the oven, so we don't have to have a separate pot for the pasta, and then we don't have to do the separate layering, which is really great. I know we always talk about ways to make things simple, especially during the week. Now this is a spaghetti version of lasagna is how I like to look at it. So very simple. We've got great ingredients. We've got pasta, cherry tomatoes, and then cottage cheese. So you're probably always looking for something that has a little bit more protein in it if you're anything like me. You know, I try to add protein into everything that I do, especially while I'm cooking at home. So cottage cheese is really great for that, but it also gives a little bit of that creamy texture that you typically like when you are making a pasta dish. And then we've got spinach, salt and pepper, olive oil. So easy as pie, well, easy as pasta, as I'd like to call it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I've got baby spinach, so we just wanna make a bed of baby spinach. So, you know, you can pull this open. It's always fun to open things on air. You never know if it's gonna open right away or not. But we've got just pasta, and all you're gonna do is layer this. Even easier than making a lasagna. You know, when you're making a lasagna, you have to go layer by layer and make sure that everything is mixed appropriately. So we have our spinach here. This is freshly washed spinach. So we're just gonna layer it into the dish and make a nice bed of spinach. And my opinion, you can never have too much spinach because it really cooks and wilts down so much when you are making it. You know, you can have half a bag of spinach and it only gives you about a little tiny handful. So we're gonna go ahead and just make this a really great layer here. Because spinach is filled with so many incredible vitamins. It's so good for you. It never hurts to have too much spinach here. And it's just pretty. It gives a really pretty color. So we've got our bed of spinach rolling here. And then, as always, you can put whatever spices that you want to. We're going to keep it simple today with just salt and pepper, but you can add garlic. You can put whole garlic cloves into this if you wanted to. You can do garlic powder, you know, Italian seasoning, parsley, whatever it is. So the next part, we're adding our spaghetti. So it really doesn't matter if it's broken or not because you're just going to eat it and cut it anyways. So if your spaghetti's broken, it's okay. You just kind of layer it in here. And we've got about 2 pounds of spaghetti here. Now you can do exact measurements on this recipe, but for me, during the week, you know, if I'm in a hurry, I just want something where I can throw it together, and that's exactly what this recipe is. So we've got our pasta here. I don't want to break it. Not yet, at least. It looks too pretty in its whole form. So we've got this pasta here, and we're just going to layer it on top, just like that. There we go. It's looking great. You know, we try all kinds of fun, delicious things for breakfast here on the show, and today it's gonna be pasta. So layering all that pasta in there, and it's okay if it's, you know, kind of filling up to the top. The spinach will wilt down. The pasta, depending on how much pasta you want to make. I think this looks good to me. You know, I just want to kind of cover it on the top. Maybe we'll put a little bit more in there, depending on how many people we're serving here on the show today. I know the guys behind the camera, they are the people that keep this ship rolling, or sailing, I guess you could say. They always have opinions on the recipes we do afterwards, so it's lots of fun. You know, it's always fun when I get my director, Nick, when he says he likes the recipe, you know that I've done well for the day. So we're gonna add our cherry tomatoes into this pasta dish as well. And you can put as much or as little as you like. You know, I'm not a huge tomato person, but I do like it when it's cooked into, when they cook down and they wilt down into the, it's always fun to take them out of this container when they wilt down into the mix, and we'll stir everything together once it's baked. So that's gonna make it a really delicious and flavorful recipe. So we've got these tomatoes here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put them all in because why not, right? You know, tomatoes add a little bit of acidity to the dish. We'll be adding the cottage cheese, which makes it very creamy. So we're adding all of this here. So our tomatoes are gonna get spread into this, and once it all bakes together, we'll just kind of stir it together. Now we've got our olive oil, but first we want to add cottage cheese. Now this one, you can do it if you were to measure it by grams, you'd probably do about 120 grams of cottage cheese. But again, if you don't want to be specific, you don't have to be specific, and you can just kind of put it on there. So we're going to do, I think I'm personally probably going to do about a half a cup of cottage cheese as well. So grabbing that half cup, here we go. We're just gonna scoop it out and put it into just right on top. It's a little bit more than a half cup, but that's okay. We're just gonna put it right on top there. And again, this is a recipe where you can measure it out as much or as little as you want to. The more cottage cheese that I put on here, the more creamy it's going to be. So I'm not opposed to it. You know, who doesn't like a nice, cheesy, creamy cottage cheese recipe? So always fun. I'm one of those cooks sometimes where I'm in the kitchen. Sometimes I clean up after myself as I go, and sometimes I'm just throwing it all in there. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up a little bit as we're getting this done. Now the next part is we've got some olive oil. So you can kind of drizzle this over the dish here, the Pyrex. So we'll just drizzle a little bit of olive oil. As you can see, I like olive oil. I love the flavors that it has. And you can't do too much in this. It adds a little bit of richness to the cottage cheese mix. It helps it blend together and just taste really delicious and just hearty, a little bit more velvety, because you've got that nice rich olive oil taste, which to me signifies Italian cooking for sure. Now, we've got a little bit of pepper, so we're gonna go ahead and put some of that on here. Oh, sorry, a little bit of salt. There we go, and then the last piece we're gonna do, we're gonna pour some water in it, and this is what's going to make the pasta, the spinach, and everything kind of bake together. So this is the secret ingredient. We're just gonna pour it all over here, just like that. And as simple as this recipe is, I promise you, it's going to turn out quite delicious. So we've got all of the water poured into our baking dish. It doesn't look like much right now, I promise you, but wait till you pull this out. You will wow your guests and your friends and family if you are making this at home, because once it all bakes together, we're just gonna go ahead and, you know, just mix it all in. So we are done with it. You can season it as you'd like, either before or after. We're gonna pop it into the oven, and then you're just gonna let it bake for about 30 minutes, which is the most simple way to do things. So we're popping this in here. Our oven is set just like that. Great. Normally I have Kevin or one of the boys in the kitchen to put things in the oven for me, so that was a feat to do, but normally you'd bake it for about 30 minutes on 350 degrees. So our oven has been preheating. We're just gonna let it bake, let it simmer. It's gonna be delicious with the protein-packed cottage cheese, plus the noodles that are just in there dry, and then they'll just cook in that water that we just bathed it in. So all of that coming up. We'll show you at the end of the show what it's going to look like right after this quick break, but we've got a lot more in our show after this.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sport. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Eight-time Emmy-nominated Animal Rescue is a half-hour television series showcasing the heroic efforts of people helping animals. Join host and award-winning journalist Alex Payne and the Animal Rescue camera crew as they travel around the world, capturing dramatic rescues, rehabilitation, and relocation stories. For programming schedule, check your local listings today.
Don't miss your favorite episodes of Animal Rescue.
Good morning, Vail.
We love to talk about health and wellness here on the show, but one of the conversations that is not often had is around meningitis and what that is. Joining me today are two experts, one a survivor of meningitis and two a healthcare provider and professional about it. I've got Dr. Wendy Wright and Jonathan de Guzman joining me today. So how are you both?
Great, thank you for having us both.
So Dr. Wright, what is meningococcal meningitis and how is it contracted?
So meningococcal meningitis or disease is a bacterial infection that is spread through something as simple as sneezing or coughing, but can also be acquired by sharing utensils, a water bottle, or even kissing. And it's those kind of activities that really place adolescents at an increased risk for this infection. What I don't think a lot of people realize is that this bacterial infection can take the life of a healthy adolescent in 24 hours. About 10 to 15% of people who contract it will die. And of those who do survive, we know that about 20% will be left with severe disabilities, including amputations. And I know Jonathan is going to talk with you about that today. But like anything, I believe that the best defense is a good offense. And so we've got vaccines available that we can use to protect our adolescents and reduce the risk of them developing bacterial meningitis.
Well, that's exactly right. I know, Dr. Wright, growing up, my mother was very careful about letting us share drinks with people and all of that. But Jonathan, let's talk about you. You are a survivor of the disease. How did it change your life and how did it impact you?
Yeah, it happened back in 2005. I was your regular college student, turning in a paper that day to a class, and I had the flu. I had flu-like symptoms of, stiff neck, coughing, and runny nose, everything. And so like any normal person, I just, went home, drank plenty of fluids, and I decided to take a nap that day. But the next thing I remember, it was 12 days later, and I just woke up from a coma. And doctors were frantic. Were just trying to save my life because I was diagnosed with meningococcal disease. And they had to amputate all 10 of my fingers and both of my feet, which left me severely disabled. So I do rely on prosthetic legs and a wheelchair just to become as independent as I can. It not only affected me physically as a dancer who loves hip hop, salsa, and merengue. It really devastated me physically, but also mentally, not knowing if I'll ever get back to dancing. But, moving forward, I tried to be positive and try to stay healthy. And now I'm working with Dr. Wright in terms of providing, the importance of this vaccination and just becoming, as a survivor, the importance of, educating our community in preventing this disease.
Absolutely. Now, did you have any idea about the disease before you contracted it?
No, I was not even aware that the meningitis existed or even the vaccine was available. Our campus did not really provide any brochures or anything in the importance of vaccination. So,
Well, that's quite frustrating, and it sounds like you're quite resilient now. But Dr. Wright, let's talk about the vaccine. It's been mentioned, and so what is that vaccine schedule, and what does the CDC recommend, and can you share more about it?
Sure. So Jonathan's story is not unusual. So today, what we're doing in this country is we're protecting 11 to 12-year-olds with the first men ACWY vaccination. So they get it at 11 to 12. And by the way, almost 90% of kids will get that vaccine. It's a great time to give it to them because they're often in front of us needing a mandated vaccine called Tdap, which is mandated in most states. But then we give them the second shot at 16. Only 61% of adolescents actually come in and get that vaccine. But the goal of that second dose is to carry them through that age range, like Jonathan, where they're in that communal living and they're at an increased risk. Our concern is that there's discussion at the ACIP, the immunization arm of the CDC, to eliminate that 11 to 12-year-old dose. And what we're very concerned about is that there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of adolescents who are not going to be vaccinated at all. So we're here today partnering with Sanofi to ensure and to make sure that the ACIP and asking them to look at the evidence. We have reduced bacterial meningitis in this country by 90% with our vaccination program. And Jonathan and I do not want to let up any of that momentum that we have. We've created a website called, and viewers can take a look at bit.ly/meningitis vaccination if they want more information about what we're speaking about today.
Well, that's so true. And I know there are lots of discussions around vaccines, but I think this is one that is absolutely imperative and important for people to get, especially because you're not aware of meningitis or how you can contract it. It sounds like it's spread pretty easily there. So, Jonathan, you mentioned that you maintain your independence via wheelchair and prosthetics, but how else do you stay active and how do you help support others with disabilities?
Yeah, so I did go back to dancing. So I am part of a dance troupe here in San Diego. They're called Shock Studios. And so they do have a dance troupe for individuals 25 and up, so who still have a passion for dancing. So I went back to that. I'm also a vocational counselor working with individuals with disabilities find employment, but also students between the ages of 16 to 22, providing them pre-employment transition services and just really getting them ready in their career, in their future career, either going to college or going to trade school. So just providing that to the community.
I love that. I love that you're still dancing. I'm a dancer myself, so it always lives in you no matter what, and that's so great and so exciting. So where can we go for more information?
Absolutely. The viewers can go to bit.ly/meningitis vaccination for additional information about what we are speaking with you about today. We really do appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Wright and Jonathan, I appreciate the both of you and being strong advocates for meningitis awareness and the vaccines as well. So best of luck to you as you continue to spread the word throughout the country.
Thank you so much.
Now, we'll have more on the show right after this quick break. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Welcome to the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. I'm your host, Gretchen Pleshaw. We're here in Edwards, Colorado at Shine Intuitive Beauty. I am here today with Michelle at the beautiful Shine Intuitive Beauty in the heart of Edwards, Colorado. I am so excited. I come here a lot and I love the products. I love the people. The energy feels so good here. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
I am feeling so good. And she
Yay.
is definitely dressed the part of the whole spa because this whole concept is so beautiful and it feels so good. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's all about feeling good from the inside and exuding that outwardly.
Yes, absolutely. That's our goal. We really want our clients to feel comfortable and confident when they come in. And if we're doing just anything to help that healing journey, then we're doing our job.
And I love that whole concept because you do so many different things from, I know all of this, facials. I've done almost all of these things, true story. You
Yes,
know this.
exactly.
From facials to eyebrows to eyelashes to, I mean, could you tell us all the things that you do here to make people feel good from the inside out?
Sure. I mean, it's all across the board. We really focus on holistic skincare and facials. And taking a more progressive approach versus just jumping right into something very aggressive or something that could harm the skin. We do some amazing facials. We also do some more clinical facials like microneedling, but still with a holistic approach. And then a lot of other beauty treatments, body waxing, organic spray tanning. I specialize in eyebrow artistry and microblading. That's my jam. So
we're laughing about this because look how amazing her eyebrows are.
Oh,
And
thanks.
thanks, girl.
Yeah.
I am one that loves a good eyebrow tint as well as microblade, and so I know I'm definitely going to come and see you for that. And I love the whole approach of all of this is holistic. Can you kind of explain what that means to people?
Sure. So we're an Eminence Organic certified spa. Eminence they're pretty well known in the skincare world. So they're fully organic. Everything is very cold pressed. They use a lot of herbs and whole foods, fruits and vegetables in their products, but also they're very science backed. So we're not only nourishing the skin, but making a real change in the skin with clean ingredients. So that's
love
a big
that
pillar.
too. See, and I love that because I'm a huge believer, I should say, a firm believer, and everything that you put on yourself, inside of yourself, that is who you are. It makes up your chemical makeup.
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
This is a big deal. And I have to say, in this particular location, it's so beautiful and it's full of light and it just feels airy and good. And everything here feels like you're healing yourself, which is, it sounds like your whole concept.
Yeah, that's our whole concept. I mean, we want people to come in and just feel that sense of relaxation and inner peace.
I love that.
I want it to be like a respite from the everyday. So.
The hustle.
Hustle, yeah.
And how did you pick the name Shine?
Oh, the name Shine. So, we started as a waxing studio when we first opened about 6 years ago now. And then with this move over here to this beautiful, bright, airy space, I really just wanted something a little more meaningful and kind of all-encompassing as far as everything that we offer. So it took me a while to nail down the name. And I kind of was just playing around with how do I want people to feel when they come in? And what are we doing for people in our services? And I kind of just, it took a while, but Shine Intuitive Beauty. We want people to shine from the inside out and feel amazing inside, which is so important versus just our outer appearance, right? So we want people to shine. And then Intuitive Beauty, everyone is so different. Every skin is so different. Every person is so different. So it's definitely a different treatment for every person based on the day, based on the human. So.
And that's what I love the most about this space and about you guys, the brilliant kind of concept of everyone is so different and someone might come in for the same thing as a friend, maybe come together and it's going to be a totally different experience. You're going to look at each individual and make it make it more towards them, the human being, who they are, what they're feeling that day, which is so cool.
Yeah,
that is so neat.
Everyone's skin is so different, and even just based on the day, how we're feeling, what we're doing. So we definitely use our knowledge and our intuition to curate the treatment. So.
And I have to say I love this too because I again have been a long time fan of you guys and customer, and it's such a safe space. I know I've come in here. Happy days, really sad, hard days, a little bit off, and you do feel lighter and brighter when you leave. So thank you for creating Shine. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of
yes,
course.
That's another pillar of ours. We invite everyone in, every you know, man, woman, like every age, every color, gender. Like we want everyone to come in and feel comfortable and feel like they can like be themselves here. So
I love that.
Yeah.
You are definitely the pillar of glitz and glam, which is glitz and glam from the inside out. And it's true. You know, as much as people sometimes don't like to say this, when you feel good on the outside, it does help the inside. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we feel good, and this is, I mean, it goes kind of just with our core values. When we feel good and when we as estheticians know that we're helping people feel good and like they can go out in their day and make a positive impact on everyone else, like that's just our main kind of goal.
Pay it forward concept.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michelle. You're amazing.
Thank you, Gretchen.
I'm here with Jessica, who is a student intern here at Shine Intuitive Beauty. How are you doing, Jessica?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am so good. I love your energy. I love that you're
you.
so excited to talk. What are we talking about today? All things products, maybe?
All things products. I mean, one thing when I came into Shine Intuitive Beauty, I think I was really trying to navigate my way of where I wanted to be in the aesthetics world. I've worked in a dermatologist office. I've worked at resorts, and I really just wanted to find this like happy medium of like somewhere more holistic but still getting results with driven skincare. So Eminence was definitely up my alley.
I love that. Did you hear about Eminence before you came in here, or did you learn about it here?
Yes, actually, when I had my first son, I was dealing with this like pregnancy acne that I've never had before. And my sister was working at a spa in Vail, and they had Eminence, and the Stone Crop products were amazing. They were like life-changing.
I love that. And so how did you come about to be here at Shine?
You know, I was finishing up my hours for school, and COVID happened, so it kind of prolonged this process, and I was kind of just at home not working, and I interviewed for the front desk, and they seen on my resume that I was a student. And
I love it.
You know what? I walked in that morning. I was like, I'm going to go introduce myself, because my mom always taught me, if you want a job, you got to go show them who you are. And so I came in here that morning, and the energy is just, it's warming, it's inviting, and you want to be here.
And I love that you said that, because all of you that work here have this same beautiful energy of just, you feel so safe and happy, and you're excited to be here.
Exactly. Thank you. I know that's definitely something that I wanted in skincare too. I was scared to go into aesthetics at first because I thought it was more of the glitz and the glam, and I'm like, I'm not that girl. And then I found like this whole science side of it, and just the making people happy and comfortable about themselves.
I love that you said that, because Glitz and Glam with Gretchen, you know, this segment, it was, people hear that sometimes and they think it's going to be this overtly over the top, but I am all about the same, what you're saying is just feeling beautiful from the inside and showing that on the outside and shining your true beauty.
Exactly.
That's so neat.
Exactly. And I know Eminence has definitely helped me a lot with that and changing my skincare. And I've had medical products before, medical grade, and I mean, these work just as fine with clean ingredients, and you're getting results.
What's your favorite Eminence project or
product? They just came out with the tropical superfood superfood collection. And this pineapple refining tonic is amazing.
And pineapple, that's very random.
It smells like you need a cocktail and you need to be on the beach. But
I love
it's amazing. It has smaller enzymes, so it's not going to irritate the skin, but you're still going to get driven acids to really kind of eat away at the dead skin cells. So.
I love it. And it smells like pineapple. It doesn't get much better than that. With a sunshine pineapple, I like it.
I know. I love it.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. I'm with my friend Jody, who's an amazing esthetician here at Shine Intuitive Beauty. How are you doing, Jody?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, and I know you do so many things. I mean, I don't even know if I could list them all. Yeah. What is your favorite thing that you do amongst everything that you do?
I've been an esthetician for quite a while. Came on with Michelle and Matt a week before COVID, before we shut down. So we've all grown together into this amazing space. Yeah. Michelle and Matt have put great energy in this. So Really, I love to do all the facials. We do that. I do a ton of waxing. That is one thing. With summer coming, we'll get everybody ready with bathing suit bodies.
Yes.
We do the self-tanning, or the spray tanning here.
I love that.
So it is actually beet tan, and one of my friends formulated it in Savannah. It's made out of beets.
Wow.
So the beets with the sugar and the formula mix with your pH to give you your own color. So whatever you tan as out in the sun, your skin will come out like that.
I'm coming in next week to do this.
And it's all vegan, which is awesome too, and
That's
organic.
amazing.
So it mixes well with the energy we have going with all the products.
So is the beet spray tan, I'm so interested in this. Is this, you guys just have this product? Your friend actually?
So she formulated this in Savannah.
Okay.
She has, it's all over the country now.
Wow.
So she has different locations.
That's
we actually
amazing.
sell products as well. We have the self-tanner and boosters to keep your spray tan going after you get sprayed.
Well, and I think it's so interesting with this because people don't always realize, they think, oh, it's like a spray tan, but you're actually being safe and not getting, even when you're in the sun, doesn't it have some kind of SPF to help you not burn as much? And
it doesn't have an SPF,
okay,
but it being us being estheticians in a spa, we don't want people to go out in the sun
as much, right?
Getting sun damage
Right.
and any of the hyperpigmentation. So
Right.
doing the spray tan is a great way
Not
to keep
to
your
have to-
skin protected
Cool.
and not have any of this skin damage.
I love that. And facials, you said, that's something I'm super into. And my skin personally is so dry here. I know so many people's are living in Colorado with the weather, the climate. Do you do like a deep moisturizing kind of facial or, you know?
We do. I mean, that's really what we touch on a lot with is hydration being in the mountains.
Awesome.
So we have a few facials with like gua sha, which does a lot of massage to get the blood flowing, to create more oxygen into the skin.
Cool.
But that's basically, we do really we try to promote hydration in our facials.
I love that.
We do microneedling as well.
Okay.
Which is a little bit more than the holistic side of facials. It's more of the medicinal, medical end.
Okay.
So it's going to help with the texture of your skin. It's going to get that collagen and elastin pumping. It's going to
Awesome.
make that start growing again.
Cool.
So yeah, no, we do a wide variety. My favorite though is the microneedling.
This sounds like a one-stop shop. You can come in here and get all prepared to have beautiful skin for this summer.
Yeah, no, we do everything. Yeah.
I love that. And how long have you been an esthetician for?
18 years.
Wow. So you know your stuff. You're good.
Yeah. Been on for quite a while.
That is so awesome. And what is your favorite thing about working in this space at Shine Intuitive Beauty?
Working in this space, it's just bright. The energy is amazing.
Yeah.
Working with Matt, Michelle, and Jessica has been wonderful.
Yes.
I couldn't have asked for better people that I met coming on before COVID, so it's been great.
And that's wild. Yeah. What a journey to get here. COVID, and then you guys are killing it. You're doing amazing. That's
this
awesome.
space is amazing. It's great to see people outside walking by and everything.
I love that. Well, thank you for making everyone beautiful from the, I guess, outside in and inside out.
Yeah, thank you.
One person at a time.
So,
Keep it right here for more of the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen.
Good morning, Vail.
In America's heartland, living close to the land, there's a love for the country and a pride in the brand. In America's heartland, living close to the land. In America's heartland, close to the land.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
What happens to a poker player when there is life-changing money on the line?
Hey, catch! I'm rooting for me.
When they are faced with adversity?
Holy smoke. Jason can't even breathe right now. Look at him.
When a WPT title is within their grasp?
how sweet that is, Mary.
See for yourself with a front row seat to all the action on the World Poker Tour.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Pleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, welcome back. We are here in the kitchen because I'm going to show you this incredible pasta dish. It smells so good. So we added some additional seasoning to it with some salt, a little bit of pepper, and some garlic powder, and I can smell the garlic. Oh my gosh, it smells like garlic bread, or I'm sitting in my Italian grandma's kitchen. So let me pull this out of the oven. We'll take a look at it. It's going to be delicious. You can see that it is cooking. Now it looks pretty great here. Everything is melted together. Now it's a little bit al dente, and you can leave it in a little bit longer if you wanted to. We're just going to go ahead and stir it all up and make it nice and together. We could probably cook it actually a little bit longer just to make sure that those tomatoes really melt in, but it looks great. You know, it smells great. We're going to keep it going. We're just going to let it cook a little bit longer, and you can just kind of check it there, but it looks really great. As we're started, we just need a few more minutes in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this right back in the oven because, man, my Italian grandma is going to be proud of me here. It's a lot harder to do this oven situation when you don't have anybody in the kitchen to help you with it. But we're going to pop it back in. What a great show it's been. As you can see, it's going to keep on cooking, but I loved having Sabrina Feldman here. Sabrina Sweet Treats. She will make you all of the delicious cookies that you want, so just follow her Instagram.